This is kind of like a part 2 to last video. If you didn't see last video, go check it out and then come back to this one. I don't know what the title is of this video, but it's somewhere it pertains about the release date of shit. Yesterday, we found out that Pokemon released a statement talking about the release schedule. They said in there that they've always been doing kind of like more so annual releases, and they want to kind of consider slowing down after this was more than annual for the last couple of years. Calm down, calm down. We're going to be looking at this, and this is going to determine, one, if they were capping, and two, how the future is going to be looking like if they slow down. So we're going to find out that shit right now. Y'all forgot there was one extra thing to look at. That damn subscribe button right there, guys. We on the road to 100,000 subscribers, but we're going to take it step by step. So we'll say 5,000. Let's try to get to 5,000 first. We'll try to get to 5,000, then 10,000. So let's try to get to 5,000 before the end of this year, at least, please. Now we literally have your reports, your history, Pokemon, of how you released games. Now, I'm not gonna go all the way back from, like, you know, Red and Blue and Yellow, because these is when they were just starting. Ruby and Sapphire. Let's go look at Ruby and Sapphire, right? Now we're gonna see how the release schedule was, and if it was always like this. All right, so to see if they were capping, and we're gonna talk about Black and White remakes, all right, and where they fall on this shit. Ruby and Sapphire came out in November 21st, 2002, all right? Let's see when the next game came out. Fire Red, Leaf Green, 2004. Between Fire Red and Leaf Green and Ruby and Sapphire, 2002 to 2004. That one was an annual. That one was 2 years, and this was a remake. This is the first remake they dropped. January 2004. Emerald came out of 2004. So they actually had 2 main series games in 2004. These were 2 releases right after like a 2-year break. So I guess they kind of somewhat get a pass with that one. Okay. Let's look at when the next main series game comes out. 2006 is when the next main series Pokemon game came out. Because they used to do a lot of other things. As you can see, they had XD Gale of Darkness, Advanced Generation, they had a Mystery Dungeon, they had a lot of other shit. Which I feel like we get, but it's not the same. Like Battle Revolution, like we get this shit, but it's not the same. 2 years we get Diamond and Pearl. Let's fast forward. Next thing, 2006, Platinum. 2008, 2 years. 2 years, bro. And these are DS games. The quality wasn't as hard to do compared to a 3D game, bro. 2 years, 2 valuable years, bro. 2 valuable years. Now, again, look at what they did in the past year, and look at this bullshit. I mean, and look at this good shit. When they take 2 years, sometimes they tend to release another thing, like, cause it's been 2 years. Heart Gold and Soul Silver, almost a complete year later, Heart Gold and Soul Silver comes out, which those games were brilliant. They took a good heavy 2 years, right, to probably produce Platinum and Heart Gold and Soul Silver, bro. Games were great. They were producing quality for this time. They gotta understand. They were producing a lot of quality. Heart Gold and Soul Silver coming out in 2009. Then another year later, Black and White. So now they're really on the annual train. Pause. If you train, that's not pause. Like oh my, it's not pause, bro. This game, they enhanced the graphics, everything. These games came out good. It seems as though they took a year to 2 on the releases for games, whether it was a remake for main series games. It took a year to 2 years. Now for this recent stretch, it's been a year. So it's been a year. Black and White comes out. Games are good. They could maintain quality. They've been releasing games like annual at this point. June 2012. Bro, June 2012? Bro, it's been a whole 2 years. But we had other things, Poke Park 2. Like, they had stuff in between that was banging. Now what's really banging that's in between like that? I don't know. Black and White 2. 2 years later. Great games. This is the quality that we're talking about, bro. Oh, this is when the releases were coming out at the same time. Worldwide releases. X and Y comes out October 2013, right? That's like a year later. That's a year and some change. It's a year and some change later. Graphics are completely different. This time going in a 3D route, they had to make all the models and this and this and this and this. Fine by me. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire came out 2014, a year later. a year and like 2 months. No, a year and a month. A year and a month. We have Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, the Hoenn remakes, right? It would sometimes go annual, and they would sometimes take 2 years. So like, oh, we got Auras, everything is good. Now we fast forward again, and Auras was good. I don't see anything that was really wrong in terms of performance and shit like that. X and Y, did X and Y really have hiccups? Somebody remind me if X and Y had hiccups. I don't remember. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire came out, boom, good. Everything was good. Obviously, besides like if you do like freaking triple battles or some shit, triple battles would cause lag a little bit, but there's so many freaking Pokemon on the screen. There's like 6 Pokemon on one thing, so obviously it's going to lag a little bit. But that's like the only like performance. There was no like performance. Everybody was fine. It was smooth, everything. Now let's see when the next games come out. Pokemon Sun and Moon 2016. When did Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire come out? 2014. This was 2 years they took for Sun and Moon. 2 years, bro. 2 years. Now we get Sun and Moon. 2 freaking years, bro. And the graphics did increase, which is why they had to whatever. And I'm pretty sure that game ran good too. That game ran great. I don't recall any performance issues like that with Sun and Moon. So that's why they probably have to take another 2 years, because they're upping the graphics. It's not like they're not in the Gen 6 style. They're moving on to whatever, so they had to up the graphics. Now we fast forward, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon comes out like basically a year later. It's literally a year later. Now, the thing with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is basically the same game, different designs a little bit. The post, like near the end of the game gets different and the post game is different. So this was easier to do. It's damn near the same game. So Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon 2017. Sword and Shield 2019. 2 years. When they have to take a massive leap, it takes them like 2 years. Now we're going 2D Switch. We're finally in the Switch era, bro. Nah, in terms of glitches, no, right? Sword and Shield did not have like, as we see with Scarlet Violet, so people complain about how the graphics look. Now they look back and they see, oh, maybe the graphics weren't so bad after all. Now the story was lacking and other things, but we're talking about performance here. The performance was actually good. Now people complain about stuff like trees and stuff and reused animations or whatever, but they had a lot of cinematic animations in the game too, which it was good. And people are noticing it now when you get Scarlet Violet, right? So Sword and Shield 2019. Now another 2 years, because in between they had the DLC. So now it's 2 years. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl come out. Graphics actually look good. It actually looks very smooth. But the problem is like the chibis and other like shit. Like the way they make the chibis look and all that, and they didn't even put effort. They literally just made the same game and been lazy about it. But we're talking about performance. In terms of performance, actually pretty good. And it was actually rushed because I had to outsource it like last minute. So Ilka was actually rushed on doing the game. If they didn't have to outsource it and that was their main focus with no Legends Arceus, these games would have been, come on now. Now we get to where it is today. In the history of Pokemon, no shit like this has ever happened, bro. Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, November 19th, 2021. January, 2 months later, another main series Pokemon game. 10 months later, another main series Pokemon game. In the history of Pokemon, this bullshit has never happened before. Now, we finally get to the present. We all know Scarlet and Violet turned out choppy. Look, you see why it turned out choppy as hell. You see why Legends Arceus actually played pretty good, but sometimes there were frame rate issues and stuff like that. But the art style was great, which really compensates for a lot. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl didn't really have a good art style. The chippies was, and then the game was lazy in itself. So, everything looks good. It's smooth. It was chibi, so it was easier to do. Think about how the games are bigger as the graphics go up, bro. As the graphics go up, the games get bigger. You have these 3D games, open world, coming out in the same year? In the same year, bro? And then 3 main series games coming out within a year. And then that's why you see the performance. Imagine we had Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and you don't get Legends Arceus until 2022 November. Legends Arceus would have had more time to be more stabilized. Then you don't get Scarlet and Violet till like a year or two later. That's how you fix the issues. Now, Black and White remakes, bro. This is obviously the next step. We're going to Black and White remakes. We're going to Legends Kyurem. We know what's coming out. So let's look. Where would it fall? Now, Pokemon said they were mostly going the annual route, which they mostly were. But there's instances where they took 2 years, sometimes 3 years for another game to come out. Now they realize, hey, they mentioned the annual releases, and now they mentioned slowing down. So let's think. Yo, I'm spitting all over myself, bro. Scarlet and Violet comes out 2022 November. We're not getting like remakes or anything like this November. We're not getting a main series game this November, which leaves, and they have the mindset to slow down. Now, we know we're not getting no main series game. I don't know if they're going to surprise us with a direct and try to release Legends Kyurem in January. I hope they don't do that because they just talked about slowing down. Like, next year is about to be 2024. The next games, because since we have DLCs, so look, we have, and this is the good thing about DLCs, we have DLCs as placeholders. The Mask and the Indigo Disc, they're coming out in fall, which is next month. One is coming out in September, and then the other one is coming out in the winter time. Now we realize, hey, wait a minute. There hasn't been a Pokemon game since 2022. Because I doubt the DLCs are taking, like, they're not going to release a game when the DLCs are dropping. They're not doing that. So now, there hasn't been a main series game since 2022. It's about to be 2024. Now it's going to be almost 2 years since Scarlet and Violet came out with no extra game. And they plan on slowing down. This is going to come out later, maybe even November. Then it will be 2 years. This will 2 years from one game release. That's much better than fitting 70,000 game releases within the course of a year. You can see the distance now. The distance in the gap with the years is going to be 2 years, bro. Which is weird to say that it's about to be a year since Scarlet and Violet dropped. But, bro, now it's going to be 2 years. Now things are going to be a little bit more stabilized. As long as they don't force feed Legends Kyurem and Black and White remake. It's still like, damn, they're releasing games dumb quick. But it's better than Brilliant Diamond Shine Pearl Legends Arceus were 2 months apart. You can't do that. These are more spaced out apart at least. So I feel like in terms of performance, we may have, and now I'm not guaranteed, it's Game Freak, so you can never guarantee it being the best, but it may be better, which we want to take the step in the right direction. I know the stories recently are cooking. All you have to do, the stories, the features, and everything in the new games are cooking. All you have to do is make the performance good. And with this time that they're taking and the notice they're noticing, we might actually have, it might not be perfect in terms of it, but we may actually have we probably won't see a Scarlet and Violet situation again. I'm hoping that doesn't happen again. And the chances are looking higher that we won't have a Scarlet and Violet situation. Even if it's not the best, again, no Scarlet and Violet. And now this video is 22 minutes. And I uploaded this video late. And I gotta go edit the video. So don't forget to leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next video that I don't know what it's about to be about.
Oh my, she's a long way from suburban town.
The next video that I don't know what it's about to be about or stream. I may stream tomorrow. I don't know if I'm streaming tomorrow. Oh, y'all gotta go back. I gotta stream soon because y'all going back to school, bruh. Oh shit. Anyway, don't forget to leave a like, guys. We're just gonna see you guys in the next video.